I want to tell you a true story that might seem a little bit unbelievable to you, but I actually cracked a wall, a solid stone wall in my high school. It took about 3 years for me to do it, but it's pretty crazy what can be accomplished. Not that it's a great accomplishment if you really put yourself into it and you do something every day. So what happened was, I remember my first day at high school in Radford High School. This was in Hawaii. I actually went to high school in Hawaii. It was cool, although you did get beat up a lot. Hawaii sort of is a place that if you're not a local, they don't like you too much in high school, especially your military. So I was military. My dad was Air Force, and I was at this high school. And I remember the first day we had PE class. And at PE class, there was this wall, and for some reason, I don't know, I was a hyperactive kid, whatever. I decided to run into the wall and try to bash into the wall. I had met some friends there, and I don't know, we thought it was goofy or something like that. And so I would just run up as hard as I could and then just jump and push my shoulder into this wall. And this was a cinder block wall, so a solid stone wall. And it was just kind of funny at first, but then I was like, I'm going to crack this wall. And I didn't really believe that I could do it, but I just thought this was a funny thing. So every day I would run up and I would just bash into this wall just at full force, just hit my shoulder into the wall, just my entire body basically, jump in the air and crash into this wall. And I would do this like maybe 10 or 15 times a day. And I did this every day, and we had PE class pretty much every single day. And then it was the third year, at my junior year, that I ran up and I jumped and I hit the wall, and for the first time, there was this little crack. The wall actually cracked from me hitting the wall so many times every single day for multiple years. Now, I stopped doing it after that because I didn't want to actually get in trouble and break the wall. But it was crazy that I had actually cracked this wall. Like, all my friends were like, what the heck? I can't even believe that you did this. It's so crazy. Like, how is this possible? And the way that it's possible is that it's compounding what you do, like the habit that I had formed of running to this wall every single day ended up actually producing this crazy result. You wouldn't imagine that a human being would be able to crack a stone wall, but it happens over time. So that's what I want to talk about today is your habits. Your habits really determine your future. So again, you might not want to crack a wall in your high school, but it just is a powerful example. Like, if you can imagine, you wouldn't think that's possible. There's so many things in your life that when you do them over time, they are going to greatly affect your life and greatly affect who you become, ultimately, what your future is. So let me give you another example of this. Whatever you do every day compounds. It's crazy when you really think about this. So I'll give you an example of eating, let's say 100 calories a day. If you eat 100 calories in a surplus versus eating 100 calories in a deficit. So if you eat 100 calories in a surplus, so 100 more calories than you burn every day, do you know how much weight you'll gain of fat in 1 year? It'll be 10 pounds, approximately 10 pounds of fat. Just eating, but what is 100 calories? 100 calories is one apple. If you eat one extra large apple every single day, what will happen is that you will gain 10 pounds of fat in 1 year. If you eat 100 calories less, if you abstain from 100 calories every single day, if you're in a 100 calorie deficit every day, you'll lose 10 pounds approximately. Now, that might not seem like a huge amount. I mean, in 1 year, 10 pounds of fat just from eating an apple every day, that does sound pretty extreme, but imagine in 10 years. In 10 years, you'll gain 100 pounds. So the point is that the little habits that you do are going to add up. They're going to compound. In fact, there's a really good book, I think it's by Darren Hardy, called The Compound Effect, where he talks about this, and he has some examples of three brothers, I believe, that are on different paths in life. But all these little things, they are going to matter in your life. They're going to add up. So it's very, very important that you develop good habits. Otherwise, you're going to end up in a direction way off than what you would imagine. So here's what I would really recommend that you do is make a list of your worst habits. I want you to think about what is the worst habits that you're doing right now. And I want you to chart them out and say, if I continue to do this habit every day or every week or whatever it is, whatever frequency it is, where will it lead me in 1 year? Just like me pounding against that wall every single day or eating an extra apple every day, you can chart it out. You can calculate where it will put you. So let's say that you have a bad habit of smoking cigarettes. You might think it's not that big of a deal, but what will happen a year from now? What is the potential damage? And maybe not in a year. Maybe your habit is that you're going out and you're eating fast food, or you're sleeping in, you're being lazy, you're not actually working out, you're not working on your business or any of those things. chart it out for a year. Maybe your habit is looking at the wrong stuff on the internet and wasting your time and messing up your mind. You know what I'm talking about, like the pictures and stuff that you shouldn't be watching. Maybe that's what your habit is. Whatever it is, I want you to figure out what is it going to look like a year from now. Then I want you to chart it out for 5 years, and then I want you to chart it out for 10 years. What will your life be like if you continue that habit, reinforce that habit, and keep doing that habit for 10 years? It is going to be drastic. Now, what happens if you replace those bad habits? What if you replace it with a good habit? What if instead of smoking cigarettes every day, you went for a run? Imagine where you'd be in 1 year. Imagine where you'd be in 5 years. Imagine where you'd be in 10 years. What if instead of looking at images on the internet, videos on the internet of stuff that you shouldn't be wasting your time looking at, you know what I'm talking about, guys. Imagine what happens if you replace that habit with, instead of doing that, you spent that time every single day, that hour a day or whatever it was, working on building a business. Imagine where you'd be in a year. Imagine where you'd be in 5 years and 10 years. So I want you to replace those habits. I want you to imagine what it would be like to replace those habits. Right? See, now I retired young. I don't know if you guys know this, but I retired at 33 years old. Basically, I became financially free. You might say, John, you're not retired. You're making videos. Yeah, I choose to do this. I don't have to work if I don't want to. Now, I did this by having the right financial habits, by building financial habits, like buying real estate every year, one piece of real estate every year. That's what I did. By investing my money, by building my business, by doing those things, I was able to actually become financially independent at 33 years old and do whatever I want with my life. Now, if you want to do this, what I want you to do is check the link down below. You can book a free call where you're going to get some help doing this, a free call with me, and you're going to find out how to actually do this. So go check the link down below, click that link and do that. And you can jump on a call. If you're really serious about becoming financially free, you're really serious about changing your life around, do that. Now, let me tell you a little bit about how this whole thing works as far as habits in your future. It's the small things. It's very important that you guys understand it is the small things that is going to make the biggest difference in your life. It is not the big things. You could go and you could run right now. Like today, if you go and run a marathon, that's an amazing accomplishment if you go and run a marathon today, but it's not really going to affect your life in any way. You're going to be sore as hell tomorrow. That's what it's going to do. You're going to feel good about yourself, but you're not going to be in better physical shape. Your lungs aren't going to develop. Your heart and your cardio system is not going to develop. You're not going to develop much more endurance, a tiny bit. You're not going to lose any weight. But instead, if you ran 3 miles every single day for the next year, you would have huge progress. So it's the small things that matter. It's not the large things. So many of you guys right now, you're in a place where you're trying to do large things. Now, if you want some good habits that we're going to change your life, watch this video next. I've got this video on the 4 habits that will change your life. These are habits that changed my life. Watch this video next and learn the 4 habits that are going to change your life.